Welcome to my Food and Culture podcast. I'm Roxy, your host. These podcast series are about cultural diversity, food, and art. In this episode, we have a Kurdish artist from Turkey, Insaf Yalçınkaya. Hello, my name is Roxy. Welcome to my Food and Culture podcast. In these podcasts, we are going to talk about food, culture, and art. Today, I have a very special guest, Insaf Yalçınkaya. Welcome to my podcast, Insaf.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to introduce yourself. I know you do some painting and you write, so tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I am Insaf Yalçınkaya. I'm a Kurdish poet and artist from Turkey. And I always liked writing, but same times painting as well. My certification about ceramic and glass and technology, but I generally used ceramic formalization. And I like to use some different material for my art. Sometimes wood, sometimes stones, sometimes just
I saw
oil.
a few of your artworks and I really like them.
Yes.
And when you write, what language do you use to write?
Generally in Turkish. Unfortunately, we don't have a chance to take the education in Kurdish in Turkey.
Do you speak Kurdish?
No, little bit I can understand, because when we start in a school, we have to speak the Turkish. It was forbidden when I was a child.
Okay.
We couldn't speak as well. So my father was a teacher, so he wants to we speak the Turkish, because he didn't want to someone hurt us because of we speak the Turkish. Our own language was Kurdish, but we couldn't speak when we go to school.
That much. I didn't know these things. I just know when it comes to Kurdish culture, I know we have Kurdish in Turkey, we have Kurdish people in Iran, we have some in Iraq, and in Syria, I guess we have some Kurdish people.
Yeah, another country they have a chance to speak or take education. We didn't. Otherwise, there was another problem. My mother language was different. We called it Zazaki. And my father is language Kurdish and Kurmanj, we said. And so they just used to, they know each other language, but in-house we used the Turkish. Yes.
And what city you are from in Turkey?
We call the Dersim, but formal name is Tunceli. We had some bad story.
What kind of bad story?
There was a genocide in my stay, and 1937, 38. After that, Turkish government changed our city name, but we still use the Dersim. We prefer it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's very famous everywhere that Kurdish people are very strong and they're fighters to win their culture over anything else.
Yeah, actually, women.
Yeah, I know. And how long have you been in Ireland?
Nearly 5 years.
Okay,
I'm here.
That's good. And what do you think about Irish culture and their aspect when it comes to art? Like artists from different countries, immigrant artists?
Yeah, when I came here, I feel there is a Irish culture soul here. I visit a lot of country, but I feel here and first time like that. They protect their culture. They maybe not language, but and I found them friendly.
Friendly?
Yes, friendly.
Yeah, they are very friendly.
But I thought, and so I feel sometimes their community is very tight.
It's a small country.
Yes.
And that's why I think that's the only reason. It's an island and it's small. Okay, we go back to that later. Now, let's talk about food, because you know that today we are going to try some very popular Turkish food, which is burek,
Yes.
if my pronunciation
No,
is
it's
correct.
correct.
Yeah, and I love it. And I know anybody who traveled with Turkish airline, they always serve burek for breakfast in the plane.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about burek and then Turkish cuisine in general. What do you eat in everyday food? What is everyday food? For example, lunch and dinner.
I can start with the burek.
Yeah.
We have a lot of kind of burek. So sometimes we use the cheese or potato or spinach or mince beef. Yes, and so it's depend of people's taste.
Yeah.
Which one is preferred? Yeah, we generally cook the burek.
And do you have it with tea? Sometimes I see in the movies burek and tea.
Yeah, that's we say then the north of Turkey and produce the tea, but generally Kurdish people consume it. So
yeah, the Turkish coffee is really famous as well.
Yes.
And it's totally different from European kind
and
of
the tea is every time for us.
Iranian people drink lots of tea too, and it's very similar. Just these glasses are very Turkish.
Yes.
But we drink lots of tea in Iran as well. So when we talk about Turkish cuisine in general, let us know a little bit more.
General west of Turkey prefer the vegetables. They use the mostly vegetable, but east of Turkey prefer the meat.
Okay.
Turkey, or I would like to call the Anatolia. It's because
rather than Ottoman Empire.
Yes, because Anatolia it's means for me and a lot of culture. Because north of has a different culture, different language. South is different culture, different language, and west is same, different. So I think we can't separate all of culture, and because Persian people influence the Anatolian culture. Mesopotamian same, or Greece culture.
Armenians.
Yes, Armenian culture. They influence each other. So I can't say that that's exactly Turkish, because we lived together and we carried our culture to each other.
So, lots of influence from Europe and Asia at the same time. That's the interesting thing about
for
Turkey.
example, Burek is a good sign because a lot of country use the Burek. But we can't say that it's exactly Turkish. I prefer to say the Anatolian.
Yeah, that's very good. I did a search. It's just they have it in, how many? Albania, Romania,
Moldova, and Greece, Bulgar people, and I like the Burek as well. Armenian people.
Armenian,
yes.
So, what is the ingredients for Burek?
Yes, and we call the yufka. We need to make the yufka generally, and Turkish, Kurdish, and a woman prefer to make
homemade.
Homemade
dough.
Yes, but I prefer to make it with cheese.
What kind of cheese?
Feta cheese. It's a similar to our cheese. Feta, it's parsley.
Parsley.
Yes, and a little bit milk and olive oil and a half spoon maybe salt. If in the cheese it's not enough the salty. And top of the burek, and we need the egg. That's all. It's very simple. Very simple, but very tasty.
Okay, let's start and see what are you going to make for us.
Yes, thank you. We use the inside parsley and cheese. We have to take them after I chop them in a bowl, and then for top, and we need to separate the white and yolk. So we just use the yolk.
So you don't use the
No.
white. Okay.
Yeah, but if you want to don't throw it, you can use the for just
Yeah, my
for
omelette
omelette something.
tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I have some?
Yeah, knife.
Yes.
So you just cut it roughly, right? There is no rule how to cut
No.
it.
Generally, I use my hand for cut. It's very easier.
Yeah. So you don't separate the stems. It's fine.
No,
It is
it's
fresh,
fine.
yeah.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
So I
Because
think
in
it's a
dry
healthier.
parsley they get really hard. But I agree with you. Actually, I don't throw anything out as much as I can when I cut, especially herbs. So fresh herb, it's good to use all different parts of it.
Yes.
I can use spinach as well, right?
Yes, you can use the spinach instead of the cheese or potato or meat mince. You can use them.
Yeah, and when it comes to meat, do you eat lamb or beef or both?
Yes, it's both. We can have it. Yeah, it's up to you. Which one you like, you can prefer it.
And no pork, right?
In Turkey, yes, but I like the pork as well. So it's if you want to prefer the pork, but pork is little bit
Fattier.
fatter, so it's depend on you.
Yeah, in Iran is similar. Like when you go to a normal butcher in town, you get lamb or beef. But if you go to Armenian area, you can buy pork.
Yes.
So they're allowed to sell it.
Yeah, in my city we have Armenian people as well. So our culture is very mixed.
Diverse.
Yes. So it's we like to.
Shall I remove this?
Yes. And for we used to milk and olive oil between every yufka sheet. When I just put a tray, a little bit.
So how much you add? Like.
Just I used my eye measure.
Okay. Yeah.
And not too much. You can do a little bit, and then you can have it later if you need more. Yes. Just
and how about salt and pepper or any kind of spice?
If your cheese it's already salty, you don't need the salt inside. But if you don't have the, for example, feta cheese has enough salt.
Yeah.
You can use a half teaspoon salt inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. But I like to put a little bit yogurt.
I have some yogurt.
Do you
want
have?
yeah.
It's good because yogurt make the top is very soft and more crispy.
Okay, that's good to know. These are the tricks I wanted to know because I always make it one
spoon is
tablespoon.
enough. One.
Okay.
Yes, that one is good. And for example, there is a similar musical instrument in Turkish culture.
And in Iran?
Yes, in Iran. They use just a 3 string. We used the 7 string. And so that's with the 3 strings they call the, I forget it, and in Persian?
Setar.
Setar. Eggs and yogurt. We will use the top.
Yeah, you need to cut it before it goes to the oven, right?
Yes, it will be better because inside will cook properly.
It's the same as baklava. Whenever I make it, I have to cut it before I put it in the oven. But the reason is because when we add the syrup on top, it absorbs all the syrup.
Yes. I'm not so strong woman to cut it.
It's on 180. And how long should we?
Generally 40 minutes.
40 minutes. We check after like 30 minutes to see if it is
after
ready.
30 minutes we need to check.
Okay.
Because some oven cooked just under some of top.
Yes,
you
I
have
know.
to check
Yeah,
it.
okay. Perfect.
That's
Thank
all.
you very much.
You're
So we wait
welcome.
to see. Yeah.
Yes.
So I really love it.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try your recipe next time. So I usually, as I said, I make it with spinach and with filo pastry. But this looks more original and like more similar to what I get in Turkish airline.
It's good advertising.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much actually for coming today and talking to so many interesting topics with me. And yeah, and the food is delicious.
Thank you so much and give me the chance share my culture.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad. Stay tuned for the next episode and our very special guest from former Yugoslavia. Special thanks to Shane McNally on camera and editing and Farhad Katrahmani on sound.